I feel like our actors might know what it's like to receive messages from strangers who talk very condescendingly to them.
We all do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It never happened to me.
This is David Crow with Den of Geek, and I'm here with director Christopher Landon and stars Meghann, Fahy, and Brandon Sklenar. And we are on the other side of the South by Southwest premiere of Drop. How are we feeling?
We're feeling
Great,
really good
amazing,
today.
alive, awake.
Hungover.
Fantastic.
The crowd, I hear, loved it.
Yeah, it was the best possible crowd, and the only downside is I feel like we peaked. We peaked last night. That's it.
Yeah, we peaked in high school.
So this movie could be perceived about the worst or the most exciting first date ever. And I think a good place to begin is for our stars to tell us, where do we find Violet and Henry when they have their rendezvous in this movie?
When we meet Violet, she is a single mom who has not been on a date in a very long time. So she's really nervous. But she and Henry have been messaging on this dating app for a couple of months. Without having met up yet, because I think she's that scared of getting back out there. But then she sees Henry and she's like, oh my God, he's really cute. This could be really fun. He's super nice. And where's Henry coming from? Work?
Yeah, he's coming from work. He just had a very long spiritual retreat in Nepal, finding himself, kind of an eat, pray, love thing. But
that's where his patience comes from.
But he was missing the love component, and that's what brought him to this date. He did a lot of praying, did a lot of eating. But
he's going to do all three in one night now.
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
So much about, first dates are about getting to know someone, but they're also a bit of a leap of faith. So was it important for y'all to, for this to have the natural anxiety and maybe a slow-boiling thriller element even before the heightened elements come to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think dating is automatically scary because you're so vulnerable. And I also think you're trying to sort of manage your impression at the same time. And so there is a bit of a dance that's already going on inside of your head. And so I think it already kind of creates a little bit of a heightened scenario. And then you throw in some, psychopath who's trying to, manipulate and control you all night and holding your child hostage. It makes things tricky.
Well, yeah, on that note, Meghann, Violet is receiving some pretty disturbing threats and messages, but both of our characters think, at first it's a bit of a game, a weird one, but it's being communicated with memes and, quote-unquote jokes. Is it scary how accustomed we all have become with communicating with strangers who hide behind anonymity online?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually an issue in a lot of spaces, obviously. One of the frames that I love in the film is sort of once she starts looking around because she becomes like suspicious and is trying to find out who it is, like everyone in the restaurant is on their phone, which is pretty true to life. So it is a very, prevalent part of most of our lives,
The way it happens in this movie, Chris, it reminded me a little bit of Scream in the sense that, when that movie came out in the 90s, it really tapped into the zeitgeist and made people terrified of answering their phone and get caller IDs. Would you like your movie to also maybe cause people to second guess how they live their lives with AirDrop right now?
I don't know if it's going to change habits because I think we're all pretty addicted to these devices now. What I hope, though, is that it gives people pause in terms of how they communicate with strangers. That was definitely something that I was examining in the movie, and I think it's a very relatable thing about how I think often because people can hide behind technological anonymity, they feel like they have some kind of permission to, in some cases, be really abusive, and that's not okay. So kind of hoping that that's a conversation that people have.
I feel like our actors might know what it's like to receive messages from strangers who talk very condescendingly to them.
We all do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It never happened to me.
Well, in other ways, it feel a little bit like a throwback because I thought there was something Hitchcockian about, this is an original story. We're in a locked room, basically, and, there's a mystery. Who's the airdropper?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a giant Hitchcock fan. I always have been. And I thought that this felt like a modern Hitchcock movie, and also, really wanted to kind of try and bring back the 90s thriller, which I think has been really absent from cinemas. And so this for me was sort of trying to hit that sweet spot between Hitchcock and a cool 90s thriller.
Yeah, there's the old adage Hitch always liked to say, suspense is the audience knows there's a bomb, but the characters are oblivious. In your movie, Meghann knows there's a bomb, but she's being encouraged to let it go off, basically.
Well, I mean, I think it's even more than that. I think it's that she has to hide the bomb herself. So that's like what becomes the sort of spinning plates scenario for her character.
Well, Brandon, tell me about shooting this, because, this is a spectacular looking set you're working in, and it's basically all set in one giant room.
I mean, production design, art department on this film is incredible. And they built that entire restaurant on a sound stage about 20 feet above the ground on a platform so they could move cranes, and they had the whole set lit as well. So everything's lit, and they could easily change the lighting. So there's been it was all sort of pre-lit in a way. But it was a fully functioning restaurant and pretty extraordinary I think we were all kind of blown away when we walked on that stage for the first time. I was like, God damn, this is wild.
It was really breathtaking.
Yeah, so, and because of that, they were able to shoot and have total use of the space and the lighting and able to do it very seamlessly. Yeah, I was really blown away with the construction of that set.
For our stars, did y'all go out on, obviously not a date, but maybe a dinner or an adventure just to break the ice and get the feel of what this movie is?
Jeffrey Self, who plays Matt, and Meghann and I became really good friends shooting this film, and we definitely had some times to break the ice. Broke lots of ice. Lots of ice breaking, yeah.
But no glass.
No. I probably broke something at some point.
Glass, yeah.
I'm kind of clumsy.
Meghann, I did want to ask real quick, are you watching season 3 of The White Lotus?
Oh, you know it. Every Sunday. It's on Sunday, right? No, I'm loving it, yeah.
Who do you think's getting their ticket punched?
I think it's going to be more than one person.
I think so too.
I don't know who I think it is yet, but I think that.
Yeah, I think the opening definitely hinted at mass casualties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, some characters come back on that show. Would you be interested in checking in on Daphne and Cameron down the road?
Oh my God, of course. I love Daphne and Cameron, and I would super be down. Super down.
Super be down.
Super be
I'd
down.
super be down.
It's actually her license plate.
Check.
Super be down.
Well, I think people are going to be very down for this movie that just premiered at South by. I think bringing it here was great because it is an original crowd pleaser, and it is a lot of fun, and it is a wild ride.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait for it to drop.